Chink, chink. Hey, good morning. It's Laura, menopausal mum. I've proved you can thrive rather than just survive during perimenopause and menopause. We're on week 4 of my month-long menopause. I've got brain fog. Menopause Awareness Month free online event. And we're talking all about mindset. I've got Yvonne Pritchard here from Beeleev Coaching. She's an amazing mindset NLP coach. The list goes on. She helps business owners. She does a number of group programs, works one-to-one as well.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, one-to-one as well. Helping businesses to clarify their vision, improve their confidence, and take the businesses to the next level. So today we're going to be talking about a number of things. Yvonne's experience and challenge with menopause. We're going to be talking about the power of community because she's also a Basingstoke leader. And obviously we're going to be talking about the power of mindset, which is really important during this transition. Before we do though, I'll just talk to you about some of the symptoms and why we have struggle with mindset during this time of our lives. So number one, we see a drop in estrogen. So that affects dopamine and serotonin in your brain, and that can lead to things like mood swings, feeling a little bit more anxious. We also lose progesterone, which is a nervous system calmer. So that also is a challenge. And then we've got a drop in testosterone, which we don't always talk about, which is helpful with energy and drive. So with all those things going on and lack of sleep, and then social factors. So, me and Yvonne talked about this before. We've got so much going on at this time of our lives, which in fact is actually the business growing sector. 50 plus women is the biggest growing sector in terms of business, but that's in the context of social and biological and psychological changes. So for example, busy career, teenage children that you're navigating, maybe elderly parents that you're supporting. So there's a lot going on, and it's no wonder that sometimes we struggle with our mindset. However, as coaches, really important, never too late to course correct and change your mindset. And we're going to be sharing, or Yvonne's going to be sharing some tools around that today. So really looking forward to it. So Yvonne, first of all, as I've asked most people that have been on this challenge, what's been your biggest challenge around perimenopause, menopause?
For me, the biggest challenge was, I suppose, we call it brain fog.
Yes.
But I don't like that term because I don't feel that it shares or explains the severity of it.
Yeah.
So I really struggled with mood swings.
Sure.
With not being very nice.
We all had that.
Also with motivation.
Sure.
And also lack of confidence as well. And I just, and I wasn't really sure whether it was the menopause or whether it was depression, because they are, they're very similar.
Yes.
But I did do some research and I'm like, no, it probably is the menopause. So, and the reason I don't like the word brain fog is because that's not how I felt.
No.
I was looking after my mother-in-law who had dementia at the time. And one of my clients turned to me and she went, "Oh, my dementia brain." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that's how I feel." It's, brain fog's too wishy-washy. This was like, yes, I can't remember things, or I don't know what I'm doing. I can't be bothered. And then, the mood swings were not pleasant either. So it was, what do I do? Because I'm the kind of person that takes control.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sit there.
Yeah.
So like, what do I do? So I did go on HRT, and that did definitely help. But there was still that sort of lack of confidence, lack of motivation. The clarity was better.
Sure.
But it was like, still couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, it's like doing a twofold approach, isn't it? And medication isn't always going to solve everything.
No, it's not.
It's a mindset as well.
And I'm, as you said, I am NLP to the hilt.
Yes.
My toolbox is overflowing.
Yes.
And I think sometimes as coaches we forget that, and we just go, "Oh, yeah, I'm helping people." It's like, well, what about yourself?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
I have my own coach, and she is a massive advocate of thoughts.
Sure.
So, I've always referred to the voice in our head, as the monkey.
Yeah.
I can't claim that. There's lots of people that refer to the voice as the monkey, the monkey brain, and the owl brain is how you called it.
Yeah.
We've got the chimp, chimp paradox. But I've always, referred to it as a monkey. But the problem is, we don't actually know what we're thinking.
No.
Because it just happens unconsciously. And we just carry on our life with this voice in our head telling us things. So what my coach Dawn advocates is doing a thought download. And she does hers every morning. I'm not that good, I have to be honest. So literally, it is what it is. You get a piece of paper and you write down your thoughts. Now, sometimes they're good thoughts. I was sitting there going, the weather's not great today. You start, because that's the thing. When you start doing these things, it's like journaling. I don't do journaling. Just start somewhere.
Exactly.
And then once you recognize your thoughts, you can then look at them and go, well, that's a load of nonsense, and put a line through it, as long as you're happy to put a line through it. But there are thoughts on there that may be sort of reoccurring thoughts, and they're the ones that you need to focus on.
Sure.
And then it's a bit like, okay, so, I don't know, I'm not good enough. I'm sure we've all had that thought. And then what we need to do is, when we look at this thought, is to think of the evidence. So what evidence is there in my life that I'm not good enough? What evidence is there in my life that I am good enough? And 9 times out of 10, the second list is much longer than the first. But then it's reprogramming, and telling the monkey to basically shut up. So when you catch your monkey, or whatever you want it, somebody's called it Cruella. So whatever this character is, and if you give your thoughts and your voice a character, you are disassociating.
Yes, I so believe in this.
So it's not you anymore. It's it.
Yes, definitely.
And you can start to have an argument.
Definitely.
Because if you're arguing with yourself in your head, well, you might think you're a bit nuts. Whereas if you're arguing with it, you have a conversation and just go, well, that's not right. Look at all of this evidence. I am good enough. I've done all of this. And what eventually happens is, if you do this every time that comes up on the list, it starts to disappear. Now, it doesn't disappear overnight, because you are retraining. But the best way to think of it is a bit like, hopefully you'll all remember these, the VHS tapes.
Yes.
And as we watched them, they became distorted, didn't they? And liney and all of that. And that's what you're trying to do to these thoughts that are not serving you, by constantly arguing and giving evidence that the thought isn't correct. Eventually you'll start to get, the thought will get less and less and less, because that's the lines on the VHS tape, and then all of a sudden it will stop working, and you won't have that thought.
And I think this is really important, because not only for identifying and bringing the thoughts into conscious awareness, which is difficult because we're 97% in autopilot, but also you can challenge as well, can't you? Because we were only saying this morning about how what you've got to be careful of is, it's important to understand that you're going to have symptoms, but every woman's experience is different. And actually, you might be thinking you've got a symptom, but you haven't. It's something that collectively you've been influenced by, or a pattern from childhood, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I love this model. I think it's absolutely amazing. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I think this model is absolutely amazing, and definitely, I mean, what do you suggest that we just give it a bit of a, make some fun of it in some ways, to disassociate?
Just make some fun. Like my monkey. So I've got a whole character. So my monkey is, again, I think when we were children, we had these monkeys with a fez hat and cymbals.
Oh God,
well, that's what my monkey looks like. And I literally, once I've had an argument with it, and you always have to have the last I then imagine it stomping off and going back in his box, and I just close the box on it. So it's that control element as well, because we all know that when we do realise that we're thinking something, we've gone, we're dying, we've catastrophized. As soon as you realise that your monkey is running away with you, stop it, have a conversation with it, put it back in the box. But that's really hard to do from a standing start. This is why the thought download is really good, because you can see.
Of course, they link very closely, don't they? So you start catching your thoughts with the thought pattern thing, and then you start to kind of have that interaction, and then it comes into conscious awareness. Brilliant tool,
so it is a brilliant tool, and the more you do it, like everything, the better it is. But one thing I would say is, once one thought's gone, there's another thought there.
Well, that's the brain, isn't it? Unfortunately, the brain is wired for survival, so it's literally looking, scanning, what's going wrong today? today?
Yes, what can I find? Where's the saber-toothed tiger today?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, the joys.
Yes.
Thank you for that prehistoric brain.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you, Yvonne. Now, we can't leave this video without talking about your other hat.
Yes.
Which is as a MIB Basingstoke leader. And I've got a nice little story, actually, because I joined MIB Wokingham last March, and we did pottery painting with Sophie Ames from Wokingham. I did this amazing networking event for the first time. I must admit, Yvonne, I'll be honest, my friend said, come networking, and I said, oh, I can't think of anything worse being in a room of competitive women. But I was really pleasantly surprised. So I really, really recommend MIB. So we've got a number of different areas and groups. Yvonne runs the Basingstoke one. We've got Emma Reeves that runs Reading, and we've got Sophie that runs Wokingham. And for me, it's been amazing. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because during perimenopause and menopause, community becomes even more important. Because when we're accountable to something, and Yvonne runs lots of different group events for women. I run a fitness club for women and menopause mastery class. And what we find is that it's the accountability of turning up and having an allegiance to something, which can be really powerful when your motivation is waning and when you need those people around you. We do say, don't we, we're the sum of the 5 people we associate with. So it's really, really important. And actually statistics have said that we've read this before about longevity, health, immunity, having a sense of community and belonging. And actually stats do say that during perimenopause and menopause, your symptoms are more positive when you are part of a like-minded community, which is why these groups are important. And actually, I've found my niche in these groups, and I've started to speak a bit more, because we were talking about, raising your profile, really important, but you need to have the confidence to do that and have the support of nice, supportive women. So I've really found that within this community. And what's your sort of view on that? What are the kind of people that come to the groups, and how do you find that it's beneficial then at this stage of a woman's life?
It's really interesting. You said at the beginning, I didn't want to go networking with all these competitive women. We're not competitive.
No,
it's one thing I have found through, and I do a lot of networking, is actually, if you've ever been networking with a corporate hat on, take it off, because it's all about collaboration and support. And, running your own business, or, going through the menopause or whatever you're at, can be really, really lonely. And, for me to go, and lots of us, I live and work in this space. So I don't leave.
No.
It's like the walls are coming in. So going networking means I can get dressed up. I can put makeup on. I can feel good.
She does get dressed up.
I do get dressed up. And you have to find the right room. And there are different places that you can go for that. Once you've found your tribe, as we call it, all of a sudden it just feels, you just go, oh, yes, I'm here. And the support is incredible. Because again, I'm a big advocate about talking about things. Don't bottle it up, talk. We have, I've had ladies cry in a meeting. I've cried in a meeting. We have laughter. We have, so it's if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling, do you know what, I could just do with a little bit of a boost, that's when you need to come. So
definitely.
They are great. And
also for collaborations,
exactly,
collaborations as well,
lots of collaborations. And then so my Female and Fabulous group, which is more about, I call it a sisterhood. So it's online, and there's a lot of ladies on there that are not business owners. But the running theme through that is, oh my God, I'm not alone.
No, exactly.
And that's one thing to remember. You're not alone, but but you have to be vulnerable.
You do.
Because you have to open up, because if you're not vulnerable and you're not sharing, then this journey is going to be twice as hard.
Exactly. And I'll tell you what is really good about these groups is, and you do a social media consistency club, which has come recently, which is amazing. But lots of people don't have these tools, like how to do social media, but there's a lot of people within the group that have done it. But also we share realities as well. The business market at the moment is challenging. We've got the cost of living increase. People aren't buying as much, and actually just being able to talk to people about the realities of business is also really important. And I can't emphasize community enough. We're going to have to wrap up. I could talk to Yvonne literally all day. We are going to work together again. We're going to do a bit more of an in-depth conversation about menopause, because Yvonne's got a lot to share. She's an amazing coach. Just to plug my habits video, because we were talking about the power of habits. So there's also a habits video for you to catch up on my social media or on YouTube, because when we understand the power of habits, we can re-engineer or start new ones. Really important when willpower wanes during this phase. But thank you, Yvonne, for sharing her personal experience of menopause, telling us this all about her mid-Basingstoke group, and obviously sharing her amazing mindset tools, which is writing down the thoughts and then challenging the monkey mind. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll be back very soon. Next week, we're talking about menopause fire. So we're going to be talking to Gemma Sandwell. We're talking about the dark feminine. And we're going to have some fashion tips from Christina Hump. So look out for that. You'll see me getting restyled with her amazing body scanner. But for now, take care. We'll speak very soon. Bye.